Who makes your eyes see? Who makes your mind think? Who inspires your breath yet remains unseen? The Kena Upanishad, one of the most mystical texts of Vedas, asks the ultimate question by whom all these are happening. It points us directly to hidden power behind life, the source of consciousness itself. Unlike other scriptures that tell you what God is, Upanishad asks you to discover self-inquiry, introspect, who is the real I behind all experiences. It does not give philosophical answers. Instead, it shakes your assumptions about life and identity. Because consciousness is beyond time, beyond space, beyond boundaries, infinite, right? And it is a timeless, it is a shapeless, and it is irreducible, it is infinity, it is invisible, right? You can only experience it. Universe is made of nothing. Consciousness also is made of nothing. It is just a reflection of yourself, just like how the light under the projector reflects all the characters on the screen. The light is consciousness. Upanishad is one of the Mukhya principal Upanishads, fundamental to the Vedanta school of Hinduism. The central theme is the nature of Brahman, ultimate reality, its relationship to human mind and senses. The title Kena literally means by whom, from what cause, which is opening question that drives the text inquiry. Central question Upanishads begins with the seeker asking, who directs the mind to think, who makes the tongue to speak, who energizes the body and senses. The answer, not the mind, not the senses, not the intellect, something beyond them, a power deeper than thought. It is generally divided into four Khandas, sections. First Khanda, the fundamental inquiry. The sections opens with four philosophical questions. By whom is the mind implied to its objects? So impels the breath. By whom is speech uttered? And what divinity implies the eye and ear? It establishes that behind all human faculties, mind, speech, light, hearing, and life force, prana, lies a deeper governing power, Brahman. It asserts that Brahman is the pillar of all activities, an inner force that enables our senses and mind to function. Right? So all the senses, all the images, feelings, thoughts is the reflection from the consciousness. Right? You are there. You are the seer. Right? You are seeing through your eyes. So you cannot see your own eyes unless you stand in front of the mirror. The seer itself is a seeing. How can you see that? You are seeing through your eyes. You want to see your eyes. How can you see that? Unless you stand in front of the mirror, then only you can see that also mirror of your eyes, not the real. So the consciousness which is enabling inside you is functioning in such a way that you are able to hear, you are able to talk, you are able to breathe. Everything is happening because of that. It is irreducible, it is invisible. So universe is made of nothing. Consciousness also made of nothing. You only experience that, you can feel it, but all the through senses you cannot make it. Second skanda, the paradox knowledge. This section explores the difficulty of knowing Brahman, presenting a famous paradox. It is different from known and beyond unknown. It emphasizes that Brahman cannot be grasped through conventional human cognition or objectified as a concept. The paradox. Those who claim to fully understand Brahman understand very little. And while those recognizes both their knowledge and their ignorance truly comprehend. So when you start knowing the Brahman, you really understand you are ignorant. That person can understand what is the Brahman. You should know what is your knowledge and you should know what is your ignorance. That time you can understand that Brahman is beyond all those things. It's not just like you cannot express in the words. You can only experience it. When you experience this, you cannot interpret in the words. Right? This suggests that authentic realization is a transformation of consciousness rather than merely intellectual study. The knowledge of Brahman is described as being instantaneous and brilliant, like a flash of lightning. The third and fourth skanda, allegory of deities. section contains the famous parable to illustrate the transcendence of Brahman and the necessity of overcoming ego. The story describes that God, specifically Agni, Vayu, and Indra, who are celebrating victory, they become arrogant and believing their power led to Brahma appears before them as a unidentifiable and wonderful spirit. Yaksha. Agni is challenged to burn the blade of grass but fails, realizing his power has a source greater than himself. Vayu is challenged to bow the grass away but also fails. Indra approaches the spirit and is met by Uma Mahavati, that goddess of knowledge, who reveals that spirit was Brahman and that the victory they celebrated was ultimately due to Brahman's power. The story demonstrates that limitation of power beyond without wisdom and need to deities, the senses, mind in the individual to recognize that their power originates from Brahman, both path to spiritual realization. Upanishad outlines a practical path to achieving self-realization through tapas, dhamma, karma, right? Self-discipline, self-control, and right action. And affirms that realization of Brahman leads to immortality and the perception of spiritual oneness is everything. Overview of a Kena Upanishad. The name origins, the word Kena means by whom. Who is the observed observing everything and a reflection of everything. The Upanishads begins with question, by whom is the mind directed? By whom does the life force move? Also known as Alavakarana Upanishad. This belongs to Alavakarana Brahman of the same Veda. Structure composes four sections, blending philosophical inquiry with symbolic storytelling. Core teachings. Kena Upanishads uses a series of questions and paradoxes to guide a seeker from the superficial understanding to deeper realization. The source of power. Task to empower the senses, mind, and life force. The answer not the senses themselves, but Brahman, the unseen, unknowable force behind all. Limits of intellect. Brahman cannot be known through ordinary perception or reasoning. It is known by those who do not know it and unknown to those who think they know it. What a beauty. Self and supreme. The text distinguishes between empirical self and transcendental reality. True knowledge arises when one realizes that the self is not the doer. Divine play. Through a parable involving gods like Agni, Vayu, Indra, the Upanishad illustrates that even the mightiest forces are powerless without Brahman.